and it's kind of us. We just want to be able to be like, Mikasa Sukasa, and all of this, everything the light touches, Simba is yours. But for a fearful dog, that's way too much real estate. It's too much for them to worry about. And we don't want our dogs to worry. We want to give them a safe place, a small, safe place to start where they can be like, this is okay. Like, I'm okay right here, right now. Yes, today on the podcast, we are talking about dogs who struggle with guests coming into the house on this special episode of Answers to Questions You Never Asked. Let's get into it. Ready to have a calm and peaceful life with your dog without the stress of those fear-based behaviors? Hi, I'm Tracy, and I've been there, overwhelmed by all the conflicting dog training advice and unsure of what to do next. But now I help dog lovers like you simplify your life with your dog by building confidence naturally, fostering trust, and addressing those fear-based challenges. So, if you're ready, stop chopping those chicken wieners and let's get to it. One of the biggest tips that I can give you when it comes to living with a dog is this. If you say nothing or do nothing, you've agreed with the behavior. Yep, that's it. That moment when you're just standing there in disbelief of while your dog barks at your guests, that silence, that's still communication. I'll never forget the one day coming home from work, walking past my kitchen, and there was my Doberman standing on the counter eating butter. And in that moment, I froze. I couldn't believe it, and I did nothing. So guess what? I agreed with the behavior. Leadership means showing up in the moment, not after it. So if you're ready to learn how to respond with calm clarity, lead with confidence, and build a relationship that's rooted in trust, come over and join me inside the online program, The Fearless Framework. There you'll learn how to read your dog, guide your dog, and be somebody worth following. Go to beyondobedience.ca/fearless and join today. I can't wait to start this journey with you. I'll see you there. Well, hello, my dog-loving friend. It is Tracy. Welcome to Beyond Obedience, the podcast. So glad that you are here with me today. Hey, listen, I'm pretty excited because we are going to have another episode of Answers to Questions You Never Asked. I love doing this so much last time that I'm doing it again. You know, it would be better if I actually answered the questions you asked, but nobody's asked me any questions. I've given you opportunities. I've said to you, all you have to do is go to that contact page. Go to beyondobedience.ca/contact. Scroll down, hit the microphone button, and ask me a question. You got 90 seconds. Ask me a quick question. You can also just go on there. It would, oh my gosh, it would light me up if you went on there and told me, like, you know, if you're enjoying the podcast. I'd love to feature you, your testimony, whatever, here on the podcast. But if you have a question, you can ask me there. You might be on the next one. But because no one's asking, you're all very shy. Don't be shy. We're basically best friends, you and I. Why aren't you talking to me? But because you're not asking, I decided to do what I always do, which is I'm going to just pull out some random name out of someone who just recently joined the Living Beyond Obedience group, joyfully answered the questions, and now I'm going to answer them. So today I just want to say thank you to Jenee. I'm not going to say your last name, Jenee, because you didn't give me permission to do this. So you can remain anonymous. But Jenee recently joined Living Beyond Obedience, and we're so glad that you are there. It sounds like, to me, Jenee, you are in the absolute right place, because when I read your answers to your questions, I was like, oh, Jenee's my people. She's my people. So Jenee said that she absolutely loves dogs. She's had them for years. But I've learned so much since we welcomed our rescue dog 5 months ago. I've had to learn fast how to help him with his reactivity and to help him feel safe. I just wish he felt safe enough to relax, especially when guests comes over, especially her son's friends. That's the hardest part. So how interesting, Jenee, and aren't you lucky that we are featuring your question today on this another episode of Answers to Questions You Never Asked. because I like it. So I love this question so much for a number of reasons. One, it's one of the top things that we talk about, we discuss inside the Fearless Framework. That's why I kind of love it, because it is my jam. If you don't know, the Fearless Framework is my online program. It has a, do-it-yourself kind of feel, because you have all the videos. You can do it at your own time, in your own pace. There's no real rush. But the best part about it is you have the community to ask questions, to get answers, but we also have Zooms every month, so you can put your videos in. I'll do video analysis. It's like I'm right there with you. But inside that program, one of the modules is something that I like to call Building Your Brave Protocols. And the reason why I made it as Build Your Brave Protocols is because every dog is different. Every person is different. Every situation is different. So it's not like I can give every single person the exact same protocol. There's going to be a lot of similarities. Obviously, we talk about the fear cycle, how dogs process fear, the best way to help support them through fear, understanding their fearful mind, all of that good stuff, so that you're coming at each problem with a clear understanding of how the dog minds work through fear. But we also have this section of Building Your Own Brave Protocols, because one of the things that you need is to have the confidence to know what you're doing in the moment. We don't have time to sort of think about it and be like, what would I do here? Especially when your dog is having a fearful situation, because in that moment, it's your moment to shine. If you have a dog that is like, I'm kind of freaking out, and they look up at you and you're like, I don't know what to do here, then your dog is going to feel a little lost, right? They're going to feel like, oh man, Jenee doesn't know Jenee doesn't know how to take care of this. Now I have to take care of it. And that's what we don't want. We want your dog to look up at you and go, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. And you're like, I got this. And I know exactly what I'm going to do. So we build our brave protocols based on the specific requirements of your dog. So in Jenee's case, and we're going to use Jenee as an example here. Now, obviously, I don't know all the details. So I am going to give you a very broad overview of what a Build Your Brave protocol may look like for dogs that struggle with house guests. But know that we would tweak this, Jenee, to your specific dog and your specific needs. And when I say tweak it, I mean, if you're open to it, I've asked people to be like, can you give me a video of what your house looks like? And I'm not judging your cleaning or anything like that, but just to be able to see the levels in your house, what the entrance is. This is what I'm talking about. When I talk about getting into the fearful dog mind, we're going to look at your home like a fearful dog will look at it, because levels matter, threat levels matter, entrances matter. How the dog perceives the threats matters. So we will get right into it. If you let me help you build your brave protocol, I will be like, let's get into it. Let's figure this out. So because I don't have all of those details, I'm going to give you a sort of a broad overview of what I would do. So anybody that has a dog that struggles with guests coming into their home, this is a great episode for you to double down, maybe take some notes. Okay. So first and foremost, I want to just give you an overview of why dogs struggle with guests coming into their home. Now, if you've been following for a while, or you've heard other episodes where I talked about building a comfort zone for your dog, I talk a lot about this because of the dogs that are fearful of guests coming into the home. Your dog should have, especially fearful dogs, they should have an area inside your home that is their absolute comfort zone. It's a small area where the dog can predict with 99.9999% accuracy the outcome of their environment. And this is why it needs to be small. It can't be like a room or whatnot, because especially a room with windows and that sort of thing, because a dog can't predict the outcome of their environment if there's, a view to the street and dogs walking by, or a squirrel going by, or all the things that could happen. So For many, my suggestion is a crate. Now, I know for some, especially rescue dogs, especially, I will say, I get a lot of, pushback from people that rescue dogs from shelters, because we have this like, oh, my heart hurts so much because the dog has lived so long inside the shelter, inside a cage, inside a run, that sort of thing, that we have. I mean, and it's kind of us. We just want to be able to be like, mi casa, su casa, and all of this, everything the light touches, Simba is yours. But for a fearful dog, that's way too much real estate. It's too much for them to worry about. And we don't want our dogs to worry. We want to give them a safe place, a small safe place to start, where they can be like, this is okay. Like, I'm okay right here, right now. So for many dogs, that's a crate. And then what we do through the program is we're going to build out from that safety zone, that comfort zone that we've built. So if you can, it can be a crate. If the dog, has some, cage phobia, that kind of stuff, and can't be in a crate, you can make it a small, area, small room, that sort of thing. But I will be honest with you, most fearful dogs that I have come across do like cages or crates. They may just not like the door being closed, right? So there's a difference. Like, I remember my beagle used to love to lie underneath our end tables, right? Like, it was a nice little dark cubby that nobody would bother him at there. So we just ended up finding a really small crate and we put that under the table. But so in general, most fearful dogs like it, because again, it's about when we think about fearful dogs and what they're going through, they're fearing for their life. So if you are someone that is fearing for your life and you think everything is going to, kill you, you want to have a place where you can back yourself up and you know that no threats can get at you. You're, protecting your six and all that stuff. You want to make sure no threats can get you. And the only thing that, that only way that they can come in is through the front. So you can watch that and feel like secure with that. That's why they don't like open spaces. There's too many ways for things to kill them at all angles. Okay. So the very first thing is we're going to create that comfort zone. Long before we ever have guests over, and I mean long before we ever have guests over, we want to assure that we have this comfort zone. And what we want to see in the dog is that the dog is readily retreating to the comfort zone on their own, right? They start to understand that if I'm feeling freaked out, I can go to this comfort zone, nothing bad's going to happen. Something scares me, I can go to my comfort zone, nothing bad's going to happen. Now, this is a temporary thing because you are very first step of building a relationship with a fearful dog is that you're working on building trust in you, right? So while the comfort zone becomes their safe space, as you're working on trusting you, you become their safe space. And then therefore you can start to transfer that safety outside of that space. But in the beginning, we start with the crate. The crate is your safe zone. Why it is challenging for dogs to have guests come over, especially if we have not established a comfort zone for the dog, is that if we're saying this house is your comfort zone and you just have to deal with it, even though it's big and all that stuff, when we're saying this house is your comfort zone, what happens is you're literally inviting interlopers into the dog's comfort zone. People they don't know. And there's so many variables with people they don't know that it destroys their comfort. And that's why dogs struggle so much with it. I will say, even dogs that aren't fearful still struggle with guests. Let's say they're not necessarily like everybody loves me kind of dog, but like they'll still struggle with it because it's not natural. Right? Dogs and packs and whatnot, wolves, all of that stuff, they don't invite other friends over to their den. That's not a thing that they do. Right? You don't see like one wolf pack over here, but like, hey, Joe, want to come over and watch the game? Come on over to my den. We'll sit. They don't do that. So it's an unusual thing for interlopers to be invited into the sacred place where we sleep. It doesn't make sense to dogs. So lots of dogs will struggle with this. However, if you have a dog that has a comfort zone and you've set that up and you're starting to work on this whole idea of the dog learns to trust you, that's step number one. When we now start to invite guests in, hopefully you're at the stage of trust development where the dog can learn to trust the situations that you put them in, including inviting people into their space. Now, again, this works better if your dog has a place to retreat to. It shows you a lot too, right? If you have guests come over and your dog retreats to their crate, they're saying, I'm uncomfortable here. And I will tell you this, when my kids were very, very small, and back in the day when I had research beagles, there might have been a problem back in the day where I just gathered a whole bunch of research beagles. That might be part of my story, but I digress. I had a ton of research beagles living in my house. I mean, what did I have? I had kiwi, pudge, peanut, soda, kiwi, pudge, Petey. What else did I have? Champ? 6. Might have been more. Anyway, I digress. I had a lot of beagles at one point in time, research beagles. So the research beagles were very uncomfortable outside of, the research facility, all of that good stuff. Anyway, my whole point is this. When I had my kids and my kids were small, I used to always put my dogs away in crates when my kids weren't old enough to understand to leave the dogs alone. Then as my kids got older and they started to understand that, our rule, and it was a very, very strict rule, was that the kids were to never, ever, ever bother a dog when they are in the crate. And we even went as far as to tell the kids that if the dog goes into their crate, it's the dog's way of saying that they want a break from you. Like you're too much for them right now. And the funny thing is that Soda, I still remember Soda, one of the beagles, he would hear the sound of the Nintendo, that like bloop bloop noise that the Nintendo used to make. And because my kids had that Nintendo Wii Sport, where they would jump up and down and pretend to ski and all that stuff, because they were playing that all the time, whenever Soda heard the bloop bloop, he would get off the couch and he would go into his crate because he knew the kids were going to be jumping up and down and it made him uncomfortable. It was like a Pavlov's dog kind of a thing. He heard bloop bloop and he'd be like, oh gosh, and he'd get off and he'd go into his crate. Anyway, I digress. The point is that we taught our kids to never, ever, ever, ever bother the dog in the crate. Like the crate was the dog's sacred place, and they weren't to ever look at them, try to pet him, try to get him out, all of that stuff. So we want the same sort of thing for your new dog. This idea that if you're feeling uncomfortable, you can go in your crate. The benefit to that is it is communication that your dog is telling you. So when you can, like, how interesting this, right? If certain guests come in and your dog feels more comfortable and they don't feel the need to retreat to the crate, you're like, how interesting. This person's energy must be a little bit more, less erratic or whatever. And my dog is comfortable to stay out. If it's when your son's friends, and I don't know how old your son is, but if it's when your son's friends come over, and your dog is like, no, thank you, and gets up and leaves, you can be like, how interesting. That kind of energy is too much for my dog. We never ever force a dog to hang out with them, right? I never do that. So that's your sort of first cue. When you've worked a lot by creating the comfort zone and doing all this work, you'll know the dog will tell you. That's your dog. That's the dog telling you, I'm not comfortable here. And your role in this moment isn't to, it's okay it, and it's not to force them to come out and go see this person. Like, you don't have to do that. In fact, don't do that. Let the dog do it. Let the dog figure it out on their own. Your job is to support them. You've worked really hard to help them build trust. You're there to support them. You support them by reminding your guests, do not touch the dog. Don't look at the dog. Don't touch the dog. Don't try to bribe the dog. Don't call the dog over. We're just going to allow the dog. We're going to see what the dog wants to do. Most dogs, if they are comfortable and ready to start going through the process, they will do their approach and retreat. and they'll come up from different angles. They'll come up usually with their nose. They'll try to smell, then they'll back up, then they'll go to the other side and they'll back up, and they'll do this a couple of times, and then they'll start to settle. Where they decide to settle, how interesting. I'm always fascinated when that's why when people are doing their Build Your Brave protocols, I'm always like, please record it until because I love watching to see what they decide to do. It always fascinates me where they decide to go. What we would be looking for, honestly, if you're working on building trust, if your dog isn't comfortable, they might go back to their crate, but a next step might be they come and they hang out beside you. Oh gosh, that warms my heart, because that means we're getting somewhere. That means the dog is starting to trust you, that you have the situation handled. The dog is saying to you, you know what, I'm still feeling a little uncomfortable, but I know that you've got my back and you're going to make sure that I'm okay. And it's so freaking lovely. Not in a needy sort of way, but in a lovely sort of way. You know what I'm saying? So that would be what we're looking for, but no judgment, especially if we're just starting off. If your dog goes back in the crate, they're like, that's fine. I've told this story like a whole bunch of times. I was going to say 1,000 times, but maybe not on the podcast. But my dog Rue is not a people person, and she has a crate that is in our bedroom. The door is always open. I hang my towels on it. There's always towels hanging on the door of Rue's crate because I never close it. So she's always welcome to go in and out. And quite often she'll come out, she'll go through her fear cycle if we have a guest over. And then she just decides she wants to go in the other room because she doesn't care. She doesn't want to be with the people, right? Plus, people honestly struggle with Rue because she has beautiful eyes. She's got such beautiful eyes. Everyone ends up staring at them and makes her uncomfortable. So she's just learned about go and lie in her crate. She likes it. That's her choice. So we go through all of that. And then we are also aware of transitions. So if your dog goes through the fear cycle, Jenee, and they come and they sit next to you and you're like, okay, this is really cool. Then you go on to have your nice conversation with your guests. And if somebody gets up, you know that your dog is going to freak out. That's just the nature of the game, because people sitting down are much different from people standing up. You are at a much higher threat level if you are standing versus you are sitting. So if someone gets up to go to the bathroom, just know, let them know, hey, if you're going to get up to go to the bathroom, you just let me know. I'll just, I'll be ready to, assist my dog. A lot of times, part of this protocol, we might have a drag line on the dogs, to help especially if you have a dog that freaks out and kind of lunges at people. It scares people, and that never helps anybody. So depending on your dog, we might have a drag line and part of your protocol, all of that good stuff. But essentially, you're going to keep on sort of working at it for people, and this is the caveat to it, for people that are going to be part of your dog's life or part of your life for a while. So your friends, your son's friends, if you know that they're going to be coming over, you want to make the effort to help your dog through this because it's people that you care about. We don't go through all of this for people that aren't going to be at your house all the time. Don't put in the effort for the furnace man. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. That's too much work for what? Hopefully you don't have the furnace man over all the time. That kind of thing. That's a different protocol, right? We have protocols. We Build Your Brave protocols for delivery people, Build Your Brave protocols for guests that are coming to your house, Build Your Brave protocols for holidays when people are staying over. You're going to know exactly what it is that that your dog needs from you for all these different scenarios. But with every sort of iteration of this, your dog will start to feel a little bit braver. When done correctly and you supporting them through it, not coddling them through it, not bribing them through it, please, I'm not a person that's get your guests to throw food at your dog. Just don't. Your dog might take the food. It's not going to make them feel better in that moment. That's not what makes dogs feel better. They just take the food. Some of them don't, but if they do take the food, they'll just take the food. I literally watched that today. Somebody getting someone to give their dog food, and the dog was like, I'll take this and run. I'm like, nothing happened there. There's no point to that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so we don't want to, my Build Your Brave protocols don't involve get the dog to, get people to hold their hand out. No, just do your life. Let the dog do the thing that they need to do to Determine that they feel safe enough to stay. If they decide to leave, that is their information to you. That's not a right or wrong. That's information. It's just how your dog feels, right? It doesn't change, I'm not saying like, well, if your dog didn't come sit by you, that means that your dog, doesn't like you. That's not what that's about. It's all information. And all of my protocols are about observing what the dog does. It's asking the dog and then observing what they say, asking the dog and observing what they say. Because honestly, our dogs are talking to us all the time. It's just we are too busy yapping at them to listen. We're too busy talking and saying things like, it's okay, you're okay, it's okay, here, go see that person, go see my friend, go see. I hate go see. I hate go see. I hate it. I hate it as a command too. I hate it as a command. Do not like it. If you're somebody that teaches that, my apologies. I don't like it. I don't train that. I have this, like, listen, in my opinion, dogs are really, really great at reading energy levels and intent and all of those things. And if I have a dog that's like, I don't like that person, I'm actually going to listen to the dog. Anyone else? Everyone in my audience puts their hand up. Anyone else do that? Like, if my dog doesn't like you, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's wrong with that guy? Like, so I don't force dogs to go see anybody. If they're holding back, I might hold back with them. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's just me. I don't like that command. Don't command your dog to go see somebody. Like, let them tell you how they feel about it and then honor it. Like, honor it. If your dog is uncomfortable, don't tell them to go see it. Honor it. Getting really upset because it literally just happened. I watched it today. So it's right. It's like right in my memory right now. Like I saw it and I'm like, please don't do that to your dog. Don't do the go see thing. I don't like it. Anyway, where was I at? Well, I mean, that's basically it. There's so much more to it. We're getting a little bit long in the tooth here. There's so much more to it. And as I say, this is just kind of an overview of what I do in general. But, for those of you that are interested, you want to like go through this more. As I say, I will get in the weeds with you to build your Brave protocol. I will get in the weeds with you if you let me, if you want to. I know some people, when I've said, give me a picture of your house, like, give me a video of your house, because I'll do it. They were like, that's too much, Tracy. You're just in my house. I don't, that's fine too. That's fine too. I'm just saying, if you're up for it, I will go with like, okay, from the landing, you're going to do this. Like, I get into it because I think it's important, right? Learning how the dog sees the world will change everything for you. And everything after this, I will say, gets easier, right? It gets easier once you start to see it. And once you start to listen to your dog, you start to see the world differently. You really do. So there you go, Jenny. I answered a question you never even knew you asked. You're welcome. Do you have a question? Just do me a favor. I really want to see if the microphone works. So go to beyondobedience.ca/contact. I think the top of the page is probably like put your email or email me, but scroll down and you'll see an orange microphone. And it says, leave Tracy a voice message. Leave me a message. And just be like, even if you just want to say, hey, Tracy, I love the podcast. I'm really digging it. We should be best friends. Like, do something. Let me know if the microphone works. That's all I want to know. Somebody test the microphone. All right. Love you. All right. I think that's it for today. Listen, if you liked this episode and you perhaps want me to sneakily answer your questions, you can make sure you're part of the Living Beyond Obedience group. In order to get into that group, you have to answer 3 questions. And I might take those questions and give you the answers to questions you never asked. But yeah, join us inside that free community. It's a lot of fun. We leave pictures and all sorts of fun stuff. If you're interested in joining me over in the Fearless framework, where you can build your own Brave protocols over there, it's beyondobedience.ca/fearless. Incredible program, incredible community. It's at an incredible price right now. Jump in now if you can. As always, Oh, my friend, you get out there today and you be the person that your dog thinks you are, because your dog thinks that you're amazing, and so do I. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Oh, and one more thing. This podcast is meant for entertainment and education purposes only, and it's not meant to replace hands-on professional training. If you're really struggling with dangerous behavior with your dog, please reach out to a professional in your area. All right, I think that's it. Bye for now.